It was like the Boston Tea Party of our generation in the sense that tea was spilled and it changed the fabric of our country forever. Today, I want to get into the internet beef that started it all, Dramageddon. We're going to revisit the drama from start to finish because I feel like this situation really ignited cancel culture, especially in the YouTube beauty community. The players in the story definitely weren't the first to get canceled, but they were the first to have their social media cancellations transcend into the mainstream media. And to think that this all started with a petty tweet. The good old days. Let's get into it. In my opinion, 2017 and 2018 were the peak of the YouTube beauty community. And at that peak stood a group of friends who were taking over the internet: Laura Lee, Nikita Dragun, Jeffree Star, Gabriel Zamora, and Manny MUA. At this point in time, Jeffree Star was controversial, okay? He'd been on the internet for a long time and had a lot of scandals. So while he still had a bunch of people following him, watching his beauty reviews, and defending him, it wasn't 100% copacetic that this group of squeaky clean-ish beauty YouTubers was hanging out with him. But their friendship was really fun to watch, and I do think that Jeffree Star associating himself with these four people made him more likable. Plus, Jeffree Star Cosmetics had collabed with Manny MUA on a palette, they'd been on his channel before, he gave them career advice, so it really was a mutually beneficial friendship. But near the end of 2017, something shifted. Laura, Nikita, Gabriel, and Manny were all still hanging out, but Jeffree Star was nowhere to be found. And at first, everyone was a little confused, but it soon became very clear that Jeffree had a falling out with the group. Jeffree Star had tweeted about some fake-ass bitches and then confirmed in the replies that he was talking about Laura Lee. Very intense. Sometime over the next few months, the foursome collabed on Nikita Dragun's channel in a video titled Why We Aren't Friends, and best believe the chronically online internet PIs were tuned in. This was definitely the era of clickbait, so we all knew that they weren't really going to address anything directly, but maybe they'd give us some scraps that we could put together. And in this video in particular, it was very obvious that some shade was being thrown in Jeffree's direction. Jeffree had posted a lot of mukbangs, to which Nikita Dragun opened the video by saying,
I feel like it's just time to sit down, chat a little bit, do a little mukbang, honey. Let the real Asian girl do the mukbang, right?
They implied that there'd been someone else involved in Nikita and Laura starting off on the wrong foot.
We had miscommunications between us, and we never fully, but it was never us interacting with each other, ever.
All of the shade was built by tiny digs like that, but the magnifying glasses were in use, and it was kind of obvious that all of the negative things they had to say about the beauty community went back to Jeffree. In the midst of all this speculation, Jeffree Star partners with Shane Dawson on a docuseries about his life, and this really changes public opinion about him. We had his past discretions and these four YouTubers not really fucking with him anymore, but at the same time, we got to see a more human side of Jeffree that he hadn't really shown us yet. And as the internet pendulum does, it swung back in Jeffree Star's favor, and everyone was kind of feeling him again. And on top of that, Jeffree Star appeared to come for his former friends in the docuseries.
Half the people still think I'm the bad guy when I only loved and cared about all these people and boosted them up and gave them all my connections, and I'm still the fucking bad guy.
I mean, I don't know if you clocked that, but that was Gabriel Zamora in that clip. That's why it was such a shock on August 12th, 2018, when Gabriel posted a picture with Laura, Manny, and Nikita with a shady-ass caption. Manny and Nikita both also liked the tweet, which seemed like more of an endorsement on top of actually being in the picture. And girl, the shit show that this picture kicked up, it was unprecedented in the beauty community. This was like the 2018 version of Bye Sister. And that wasn't even the only tweet. Gabriel also accused Jeffree Star of being racist, and you can see by these replies what the public perception of Jeffree was like at that time. But this thread shed a lot of light about what had been going on in the friend group. According to Gabriel, as a person of color, he just couldn't put up with Jeffree Star's racism anymore and had to cut off the friendship. He had seen Shane's docuseries, but the Jeffree Star he knew in real life was very different from the Jeffree that had been portrayed. He even accused Jeffree of using the N-word. But the thing is, if you're gonna come for other people, especially if that person is well liked at the time, best believe that the internet PIs are gonna come for you too. They very quickly dug up a 2012 tweet of Gabriel using the N-word. Gabriel immediately owned it, he apologized, and he continued to fight for his life on Twitter. And even with other YouTubers like the iconic Arnell Armand stepping in to defend Gabriel, it didn't even make a dent in the backlash. But of course, Gabriel wasn't the only one in that picture. There were 3 other people that also needed to be checked. PIs dug up several tweets from Laura Lee and Nikita Dragun. Apparently, Manny's Twitter was clean because they dug up this disparaging Snapchat of him coming for an Uber driver who didn't speak English. He also had this awkward encounter with a fan that kinda seemed like he was making fun of them. I can never sit still when I'm filming these. So that person was coming forward as well. Laura goes private on Twitter and Gabriel deletes the photo, but it is way too late. Sponsors are dropping them, mainstream media outlets are reporting on all of this. Laura and Manny were both losing hundreds of thousands of subscribers. It was big. Manny, Laura, and Nikita all released apology videos. Manny's video was mostly geared toward that fan who had an awkward encounter with him, and everyone was like, what about the picture? What about the Snapchat? Nikita apologized on Snapchat. It was very casual, and honestly, I think the laid backness, I know that's not a word, but I feel like the laid backness of that apology really took the heat off of her.
I know I have said some very insensitive things, especially when I was younger. I take full responsibility, but I know I'm constantly changing as a person.
People forgot about it a lot more easily, so pro tip, maybe. And Laura Lee's apology was very emotional for her.
So sorry for disappointing you.
Honestly, it just turned into a meme. Meanwhile, Jeffree Star was relishing in the shit show that this photo had created.
Oh, I love karma.
And to make matters worse, over the next few days, it was very obvious that there was some infighting amongst the Fab Four. Manny backtracks about liking the tweet, saying that he hadn't really read the caption. Gabriel unfollows Manny on Instagram. And what really cinched the waist was Gabriel's formal apology on Twitter. He posted the photo on his own, he wrote the caption on his own, no one saw it, no one was involved. It was him and him alone. So he was really falling on the sword for all of this, which makes sense, right? You did this shady thing and now all of your friends are having to pay for your crime. But then Manny replies to a fan underneath the apology and says, "It's been a very eye-opening 24 hours. And the next day, Gabriel tweets an apology to Jeffree Star and repeats Manny's reply. Now the Chronically Online folks are like, what the hell is going on? Because we saw Gabriel's tweet, we saw the backlash, and now we're seeing that the Fab Four aren't really fucking with each other anymore. Are they mad at Gabriel for posting this tweet and ruining their lives? Probably, maybe they should be. But why would Gabriel then be mad at them for that? It doesn't take long to get answers. Gabriel Zamora uploads a 49-minute YouTube video titled My Truth. And in the video, he's definitely coming for someone, but it's not Jeffree Star. So now let's go through the timeline and everything that happened from Gabriel's perspective. He starts off the video by apologizing to his fans, but he also says sorry to Jeffree Star.
Not just for the tweets, not just for the photo, just for it all, just for allowing myself to create an image of someone based on what others were telling me.
His explanation of the tweet in the video matches his Twitter apology. He posted the photo, didn't run the caption by anyone, and that was his bad. He had seen some discourse online about Jeffree Star shit-talking his friends and decided to be a little shady. After his tweet started picking up steam, Nikita Dragun called Gabriel and was like, "Are you okay? What's going on? It's really obvious that the tweet you posted is about Jeffree." She was basically trying to warn him that things could go south, and as things did go south, he decided to double down.
I was like, you know what? I want to create a narrative.
Mind you, Gabriel, Laura, Nikita, and Manny are all on a brand trip together while this is going down. So they're on a bus on the way to a pool party while Gabriel's tweeting. And by the time they arrive to that pool party, things have fully blown up.
I'm still seeing tweets. I'm still seeing more and more and more things come up. And it's like becoming a lot, like even for me.
Nikita tells Gabriel people think that this tweet is coming from all four of us and now our shit is being blown up, and he feels really bad and apologizes to all of them right then and there. They decide it's all good, we're gonna get through this together. He asks Laura how to make it right and she says delete the tweet, and he does. And this is when Gabriel's old tweet resurfaces and he says he has deleted this tweet multiple times but Twitter just keeps bringing it back. I don't know. The next morning on the way to the airport, Nikita checks in with him and says that she, Laura, and Manny are all being canceled too. Now he's really panicking and trying to get a hold of the situation. He's filtering comments. He's blocking people. He's trying to fix this. By the time they board their final flight home, he numbs out and falls asleep. When he wakes up, the three of them come over and essentially say that they have come up with a plan to fix the shit show. And Gabriel kept it 100, so to speak, about who was leading the conversation.
The conversation is led by Manny. Laura chimes in every once in a while. Nikita didn't say anything.
So apparently, while Gabriel had been sleeping, they had bought the Wi-Fi and been in contact with their managers and PR teams and whatnot. And they came up with a plan where Gabriel would take accountability for the photo and publicly apologize to the three of them to clear their names. This was when we got the Twitter apology, which kind of rubbed Gabriel the wrong way because he felt like he was just saying publicly what they all said privately. Some would say that what you say in private to your friends doesn't need to be public, but this was was the thought process. So Gabriel was supposed to apologize first, and then they would all go in order with their apologies, ending with Manny's. Laura Lee goes next with her written apology, and they share an emotional moment on the phone before he falls asleep. The next day, Gabriel sees that Manny's apology isn't really an apology at all. It's a quote tweet of his apology.
Thank you, Gabby, for speaking up. We took that photo with the intent of recreating Kylie's 21st birthday picture with her sisters. True. The reason I liked it was because it was a photo of the four of us being silly the night before. I didn't read the caption as I had been running around. Once I was notified about the caption from you all, I removed my like and asked Gabby to take it down as the photo was supposed to be a fun recreation and nothing more.
So obviously Gabriel's a little offended because he knows that Manny was not running around. They were all on this brand trip together and Manny was chilling in his hotel room. Also, Manny wasn't the one to tell him to delete the tweet, it was Laura. This leads Gabriel to go on his own little PI mission through Manny's likes and replies, and he hits the messy jackpot.
Why am I seeing, of course you didn't read the caption. It was all fun and games until it backfired on the four of you. It absolutely was not at all. It was childish and I'm too grown for that, honestly. You're too grown. I looked at other tweets he was liking. I wouldn't stay friends with someone that put me in a bad position and created all this drama. Why are you liking this?
He checks Nikita and Laura too. Nikita's being unproblematic, but in Laura's replies, she's riding with Manny. She supports his story that he saw the tweet, didn't read the caption, and unliked it as soon as he figured out what it said. And she's using the word we instead of I when she talks about who asked Gabriel to delete the tweet. So at this point, Gabriel is feeling a little bit slighted by Laura's tweets, and he's realizing that he needs to stop looking out for them and start looking out for himself. He decides to text an apology to Jeffree. He gets a response, and then they have a phone conversation during which Jeffree is giving Gabriel his side of the issues in the friend group. And during this phone call, things are really coming together. Gabriel decides to cut Manny out of his life, hence this tweet. Apparently, Manny had been a toxic friend for a long time, but this was just the straw that broke the camel's back. Now that we have Gabriel's explanation, everyone's kind of on his side again, and they're turning on Laura and Manny, but I feel like Manny was really the one who was getting it the most. At this point, everyone's talking about it, and they're calling it Dramageddon after hearing it on Here for the Tea, which was a super popular drama channel. We love you, Sam. Forever in our hearts, you queen. The next day, we get Manny's response. In my reality check, Manny apologizes to Gabriel and explains why he reacted so poorly as a friend.
In my mind, I thought, how could a friend do this to us? How could a friend do this to me? How can he put up a photo like this with all of us writing his own narrative?
He never felt the need to apologize for the photo because he wasn't the one who wrote the caption. He had no idea what Gabriel was gonna do. But upon reflecting, he realized, okay, I talked shit, I was in the photo, I liked the tweet, it's on me too. And he fully recognized that pattern of being a shitty friend that Gabriel talked about in his video. In recent history, he had issues with another YouTuber, Patrick Star, and then there was Jeffree Star, and now there was Gabriel. Let's just say the track record was not good. And he didn't get into the nitty-gritty of what had gone wrong in these friendships, but he apologized to all of them, and he admitted that communication was a major issue on his part. He had gotten so swept up in the money and the fame and the LA of it all, and he promised to get back to the original Manny Gutierrez that he was before. About a month later, Manny returned to YouTube with a Shane Dawson-inspired docuseries about his life, and he had to cut it real quick because everyone was like, bitch, why are you trying to be like Shane Dawson? Laura returned as well to explain that historic apology video.
In that video, I come off more as a victim. I am not a victim in any way, form, or fashion in this situation.
She realizes now that she has millions of fans that look up to her, and she vows to help repair the morally corrupt beauty community. And after this, the dust really started to settle. At the end of all of this, Nikita Dragun was the one who came out pretty much unscathed. And to be honest, she was really the only one who was a true friend to Gabriel from start to finish. But her career was totally fine. If you watched my Sister Get In video, you already know she was at Coachella 2019 with Sugar Bear hair, so she was doing great. But if you're still very online here in 2024, you know that Nikita isn't really consistently posting on social media anymore, and she's had a really rough last couple of years. Gabriel is still making content, and I feel like his apology video really became the blueprint. You know, 45 minutes, receipts optional, a very thorough explanation with minimal editing. Also, his eyebrows are incredible. We all know what Jeffree Star was up to almost immediately following Dramageddon, but now he is on the yak farm in Wyoming living his best life. As for Manny and Laura, I gotta say, I really feel like they've been able to grow from this and regain the internet's trust back. About a year after Dramageddon, Manny posted another video about his cancellation, and he was really authentic, really honest, and didn't beat around the bush about anything.
This is the time I was taking some medications to help me through to not feel this like immense amount of pain. And so it's very numbing when you're on medication like that. You know, I'm not condoning it. I'm just letting you know what the fuck it was. This is exactly what it was for me at the time.
Laura and Manny are still really close to this day. They have a podcast together called Full Coverage, and they actually did a whole episode addressing Dramageddon.
Once we got through it, we weren't so much as victims. We realized we were in the wrong for a lot of it. We acknowledged that, and then we took it upon ourselves to work on ourselves.
Gabriel Zamora even came on the podcast for an episode, so they're fine. They're thriving. And finally, a major cancellation like Dramageddon has a happy ending. Honestly, I feel like Dramageddon will always stay with me. It's such a big part of social media history, but it occurred at a time where drama and tea was still relatively new. It's such a huge part of social media history, but it occurred at a time when drama and tea was relatively tame. No crimes were committed. There weren't any major atrocities, even though some of those past tweets were absolutely wild. It just wasn't as serious as drama nowadays, and I think most people watched all of this unfold with a medium popcorn and some dibs. As one of the first major cancellations on social media, and more specifically in the YouTube beauty community, Dramageddon was almost like a TV show. Like, these were not real people, they were characters. And I think as cancel culture has persisted and even gotten stronger over the past few years, this mindset has definitely persisted. Their awful past decisions and bad friend behavior led to real-life consequences, and to this day, if you Google any of these names, Dramageddon comes up. And yet, and this is just my opinion, okay, let's not tussle, but a lot of people really mumbled and cackled as they fanned the flames of this for entertainment purposes. This was about tea, okay? This was about adding a little bit of spice into our online lives. And I think that's the most important lesson I learned when I looked back on this drama. As much as it felt like a Real Housewives finale, this was very much real for the people involved. They did fucked up things and they deserve to get backlash, okay? Don't get it twisted, but I'm just saying that it all just went so much farther than us onlookers really expected it to or even knew that it did. I feel like that's so important to keep in mind anytime some petty ass drama unfolds on social media. Like, these are real people. This is not a Shonda Rhimes show. Lord help us. Anyway, thanks for making it this far. If you are into pop culture, reality TV, or internet history recaps, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on TikTok. I do shorter versions of these stories and a lot more. Okay, bye!